Hey everyone, it's Garrison here and welcome back to the channel. So today, finally, I'll be doing my first listen / full-on review to Rocketpunch's fourth mini album called Yellow Punch, it being part of the whole color collection series that they've been doing, honestly, ever since their debut, as some of us may already know, with Bim Bam Boom, that lovely era of Pink Punch, and then carrying it on with their first comeback with Bouncy and their Red Punch mini album. Such a goated era in my humblest opinion, with So Solo and the likes of Lilac coming from that album, and then Blue Punch, admittedly quite the surprising switch up that not all of us enjoyed per se, but still showed a new side to Rocket Punch as it was catered towards the summer season of summer, right? And showed their bubbly selves, and then they took a break with it and then came through with their Ring Ring single album, which was a spectacular era. I really love the energy and the full-on retro influences they brought into Ring Ring. And then Chiquita and Yellow Punch, this era. I can't even imagine how the B-sides are gonna go after, especially checking out Chiquita when it came out at the time, and it was clearly a title track that was truly meant for Rocket Punch. You know, it was just perfect for them, considering what they put out prior to that with Ring Ring and such, you know what I'm saying? So aside from that, let's just get into this album review now. Alright, so for the first track we have here, it is called Yellow Punch, the intro track for this mini album, of course. Very fitting because we always had an intro track from the previous mini albums and the entirety of this color collection series so far. But something to note here, I'm seeing BXN and Primetime, who worked on Chiquita. Now, if you guys are not familiar, it's time to get familiar with them, because I'm sure we're going to see their names more and more in the near future. They've worked with Stacy and their songs 24/7 and Butterfly, coming off of the YoungLove.com album, as well as I can't remember if it was only BXN or was it BXN in Primetime, but I remember BXN doing like the likes of Up and Down from EXID. Not another huge song, actually such a signature classic, of course. But yeah, let's just dive into Yellow Punch now. Ooh. Let me up it a bit. Ooh, love the strings here. There's something so magical about this, like vibe-wise. Tricking on the strings. Ooh, lower this a bit. Electronic and like synthesizer work in this though. Ooh. Now, first things first, I gotta say, I feel like this was done not only to suit Chiquita, right? But to truly kick things off as the intro track and really give us a bit of the taste of Yellow Punch, right? For what's to come in this mini album. So not too heavily catered towards the title track necessarily, but truly setting the tone, and that's just such a fitting pattern compared to the other Punch intro tracks that we've heard from the other mini albums. And I gotta say, seeing the duration of this too, 1 minute and 33 seconds, is quite the surprise. You don't usually get these kind of lengthy intro tracks. Usually they're shorter, like 102 or something like that. But one moment where it just like that shocked me, or I should say more so woke me up, like really surprised me, was trickling of the strings, and then it's this sort of like power up moment here. Just the man, I love the electronic drum work, but more so like the snares and stuff like that. Mixture with those synths. Great work off of that keyboard. But from the strings, it just makes me feel like I'm on a whole different planet, like I'm on that Yellow Punch planet and all. But I don't know, you know, I'm pretty sure you guys are feeling what I'm feeling, what I mean by a Yellow Punch planet or something like that. It feels like you're in an alternate universe or something like that. It really provides those vibes. But let's just get into the next track now. All right, so this next song is called In My World, and as I was pulling this up, I noticed they actually performed this at their comeback showcase. We love to see it, but I feel like my expectations are slightly heightened in this case, because there has to be many good reasons why they promoted this alongside Chiquita. Now, I'm seeing the likes of Zadro on here. We've covered Zadro on the channel here. The likes of Worry Dolls coming from Lovelies. The likes of Breathe coming from Golden Child. Very familiar with Zadro, as well as Perry, and of course Limon from Jumbas in terms of lyrics. So yeah, I'm excited, guys. Let's just get into it. Oh. Yeah, those electronic drums. Loving the energy in this already. Oh, starting out with Sohee. Loving the tempo to this song, but of course, what I'm noticing here right away, them taking the new disco route again. Just with the electronic drums, with the retro-y synthesizers. Truly a blast of energy in this. Okay, Sohee! Oh, Judy! Oh. Wow, so far this is not letting up at all in terms of the whole pacing of it. But I love how their vocals are being showcased, where they're not having to really, you know, belt out anything. Everything's just done so subtly with this very high, upbeat energy. soundscape. Whoa! Okay! Oh! Wow, what a bridge. And then, of course, wrapping up with a chorus, post-chorus, yeah. Wow. What a jam-packed, bombastic song, guys. In my world, it goes crazy with it. I would have to say, you know, not gonna lie, it's up there as one of my favorite B-sides today from Rocket Punch. You know, maybe I would say like the top 8 echelon in there, because I have a lot of Rocket Punch favorite B-sides, like a majority of their discography and the entirety, like majority of out of everything. I love like majority of the songs coming from them, title track and B-sides. And in my world, it truly takes the new disco route similarly to Ring Ring, but in contrast, right? Contrasting from Ring Ring, where it's so up in tension, sure, whatever, and it has that same kind of energy. Ring Ring, there's like that, wow, I would say the burst of like vocals being done in this, very dynamic vocals done in it there. But in my world, what makes it stand out from Ring Ring and like other retro songs that we heard in general in the K-pop scene, I love how the overall soundscape, right? Everything being done, the electric drums to the retro influenced synthesizers, just allow us to, you know, enjoy the vocals in this. Nothing's being forced instrumentally. Nothing's being forced by the members by any means. It just keeps on going and going and going. And then once we hit that bridge, oh my goodness, it is a moment where, you know, the next time you listen to the song, it's well worth the wait to wait for that bridge over and over again as you listen to the song more and more. I love how it kicks off, for sure. I think how it doesn't take time to kick off is fantastic. I love the instrumental breaks it takes in this song to allow us to like jam along and feel the rhythm of things. The melodies in this song, like the melody in this song is so beautiful. And yeah, I like how even though everything is so upbeat, energetic with it, I think Rocket Punch themselves really work their way through the nooks and crannies of this song so well in such a subtle manner. I think that's what makes it so satisfying. It's like, sure, it's so upbeat, so fun with it, so energetic with it, yet it's satisfying with the subtle vocal delivery that's not forced, and then the interjections of some things that I'm going to have to point out that happened later on in the song. So I'm going to kick it off from the beginning again. Let's just go into the second listen now. Like sure, it's like full instrumental here, but it doesn't take time to kick off. Like it's not like it's like really slow and then it builds up and then we start. It just hits us right away like that. I feel like this part is just very fitting with the verse 1 was starting off with Sohee. She really sets the tone so well with her first lines. And just the snare work, you know, the part of the driving factor of this song. Great addition. But then, like, especially how the bass line's going, like the analog bass, like, I love how should I put it, you know? There's like a nice bounce to it. There's a nice bounce to it with a bit of the hi-hats going on here. Yeah. But also, I really love, you know, they're like squeezing these lines in on like so many of these like words and like these sentences, these overall lines during these moments in the song. You know, it doesn't feel like there's too many amount of syllables, right? It somehow works and it sticks, and I feel like it works due to the distribution of the lines between the members, right? We have Youngkyung, and then the I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. That ad-lib work adds so much to the song and to the overall vibes that I'm loving in the song. Jerry. And like, okay, keep this in mind. Remember what we heard in that verse 1, right? With Sohee and Dahyun. Wait until we get hit with the verse 2, and then I'll explain what I'm getting from these verses. Right? Everything's so subtle with it, yet satisfying with the subtleness of it. Alright, it's coming here soon. Verse 2. I really love how these verses slightly stand out from the other sections in the song, like the chorus and the pre-chorus and the post-chorus and all that jazz, right? I feel like it stands out a bit, but not too much where it's like, oh, it's too overbearing or too overwhelming per se. It suits the song so well. It's these verses, especially verse 2 here with Sohee. I love how quirky the delivery is, yet a little bit chirpy it is from Sohee in this moment. A little bit of that emphasis in the endless of the lines there with the vocal layer in behind Sohee, or the doubling. There's the hi-hats again in the back. It's not like instantly hitting that note. It's like it's dragged up and up like that, and then boom, bring it back. So with that being said, I feel like the hooks are super catchy and memorable as well in the song. But yeah, if anything I've gotten from this, truly taken that new disco route similarly, right, to what a bit of Ring Ring has done coming from Rocket Punch, but not like vocally explosive, right? It's more instrumentally explosive, but then like to really calm things down and not make things too overbearing. It's the subtleness and the sweetness that you hear, and the quirkiness and the little bit of chirpiness coming from the verses to that stand out a bit from everything else that's going on in the song, right? I guess that's my point that I'm trying to make. And then in my that's the interjection that I was talking about. I love that vocal sampling or it's done by a certain member and then adjusted with effects and then just added in there and just ever so slightly, right? And then yeah. And then this bridge, wow. I love how it brings things slightly a bit down, not too much in terms of the energy. And right, we focus on the Suyin here, as some of you may know the bias for me in Rocket Punch. Oh my goodness, I love how rapid the delivery is from Yoonkyung herself with the drum kits like this. Very on beat with it, on par with the rapid fire cannon delivery there to pick it up like that, you know? We slightly bring it back for a small moment from Suyin and then rapidly bring it like fully forward, right? With the rapid delivery, then to really let Suyin hit that moment. Hold up. That's so good. And then there's like a bit of swagger delivery from Welcome to My World, that part. There's the interjections of In My. All in all, you know, a spectacular song. I think admittedly on first listen, In My, the interjections of that, you know, was quite a grower. But then on the second listen, wow, it added so much to the song. But guys, I can't even imagine how the other B-sides are gonna go, especially after listening In My World here. So let's just get into the next B-side now. So this next B-side is called Red Balloon. Now I'm seeing the likes of David Amber and Mayuaki Saka on this. David Amber has worked with the likes of IZ*ONE, of course, on Love Bomb with Mayuaki Saka, one of my all-time favorites coming from S9. And then Mayuaki Saka has been a part of ITZY's latest Japanese release, Voltage, of course, with like Charlotte Wilson and many others on that. Has worked with G-Friend, has worked with I believe just a ton of countless releases that I truly love, and quite heavily on Yena's debut mini album, Before Anyone Else, Look to You. I mean, what's there not to love when it comes to these two individuals who worked with a lot of our favorite artists and, of course, specific songs. But let's just get into Red Balloon now. Ooh, just that keyboard work with the snapping. Oh, there's a nice groove to this song, guys. Ooh, these strings here. Ooh. Wow. This is unlike anything I've heard from Rocket Punch, admittedly. Ooh, this verse 2. The guitar work is so great in this. Dun, 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 dun. But honestly, guys, it's hard for me to take all of this all at once right now. Yeah. Man, from the kicks to the snares here. Okay. Okay, Diane. Whoa. Where's this going? Okay. What a refrain here. Off of the bridge. Okay. Dum da dum da dum dum. So done. Ooh. The strings that are just cresting in the back there, though. And even the addition of trumpets, were very quirky trumpets in this song. But guys, this is totally so unexpected. Hearing this side coming from Rocket Punch themselves, and aside that, I would love to hear more. Despite it, you know, not a genre that all of us can really gravitate towards, like the general public and all, but I mess with it, you know. It has a lot of R&B influences to it, very R&B heavy in terms of the influences, but all in all, it has a really great song structure to it, an arrangement to it, and most importantly, a groove to it that is undeniably a groove that you can catch up upon and get into right away in the song with the dun 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 dun. It's so in unison with the guitar work. That's why I feel like the guitar work is absolutely phenomenal in this song, Red Balloon. But I love near that bridge in this song to near the ending of this song, we have the brass sounds, right? The trumpets. The trumpets in this add so much to it. But I love how the strings are changed ever so slightly throughout this song. You know, in some moments they're there in between, you know, the vocals, right? The vocals are in the forefront, but they're just in between there. But then in some moments they're just in the far back, being crest like that. And I feel like sometimes you do get string work like that in city pop. Would love to see a full-on heavy city pop song coming from Rocket Punch at some point, especially after listening to Red Balloon here. Yeah, there's just so much to take in for me. I'm sorry, guys, because this is number one, unlike I've heard anything like kind of territory of, unlike any kind of territory I've heard from Rocket Punch. But I feel like if they explore this a little bit more, they could even get more crazy and jiggy with it per se. And I think the moments in the song by all the members are very fitting as well. I love this song just from start to finish, and it's very catchy, but I think what adds to it is something that I'm going to point out when we get back into the second listen here. So let's just dive right into it right away. I'm still processing everything right now as we speak. Yeah, I gotta identify this. Yeah, just keyboard work. Some keyboard work here. This part, is it just me, but Yoonkyung? The 최전바, and then the doom kind of pattern going on here. It is so good, this line here. On and off. Wow. That is one of the things that adds to that catchiness in this song, is the ad-libs. You hear that again? How it just is these ad-libs are inserted so precisely, right? In that even though there's like this consistency to it, the groove to it is being done very rudimentary, and the ad-libs somehow they're fit into this so perfectly like that. These strings, you know, they're being dragged back and forth. It's like the type of strings that you'd hear in like almost like a classic, a romance a movie, like a dinner night or something like that. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, right? It just fits. Removing a bit of that keyboard, focusing on Sohee, and then bring it back. I'm so dum da dum da 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 dum. Just how the delivery of Red Balloon in my mind. Wow, it could have been delivered in any other way, but the fact that it's delivered like this vocally, it just works somehow. It's unbelievable. Then the dooms dooms. Oh, here we go. That ad-lib work. I love how they just play us every time. The moments that they play us is like, it's not often, but when it hits, you feel me? It's like dun 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 dun, and then dun 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 dun. Like, all you hear is that the guitar work, and then it transitions, I believe, into Sooyeon, right? And then dun 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 dun. Man, this song is such a jammer. There's the strings again. You think it's gonna build? Nah. They bring it back to this bass line. Just the guitar work. What's crazy about this line? I'm so dum da dum da dum dum. I'm so calm, right? It's so fitting, but it's not overly repetitive somehow, right? Now hold, guys, it's coming. It's coming. Wow! That is brilliant right there in itself. The starting of this moment here. The breakdown. It's like muted trumpets of some sort, even adding some jazzy instruments and elements in this to add more subtle impact to it, you know what I'm saying? Those muted trumpets there. Then the strings more focused heavily on the left side if you have earbuds or headphones on. The trumpets are on the right, but the strings are on the left. And then this like loop of like the xylophone or something, like some percussion instrument. But the fact that they hit us with that bridge earlier on, but then no, we're not bringing it to the chorus. We put a refrain here. Red, red, red. Everything feels more dreamy in this moment. Bit of the keyboard work, and then Soon just doing her thing. Nothing too crazy with it, but then the ooh, the yeah. I just love how it's mixed like that, you know? It's heavy on the right side. Not too heavy with it, but ever so lightly. There's the mixture of the trumpets and strings on the left side. No, more so the strings, yeah. Wow. Honestly, like one of the best mixed and mastered songs of this year. I don't think I've ever said that before. I've said like one of the best chorus, one of the best bridges of this year for certain B-sides out there in my album reviews, but Red Balloon, one of the best mixed and mastered songs of this year. Seriously, guys, seriously. But we're just gonna have to dive into the next B-side and continue this roller coaster of a mini album now. So this next song is called Love More, and admittedly I'm not that familiar with the people that worked behind the scenes for this song. I'll make sure to familiarize with them more after this album review. I might be mistaken, but yeah, let's just dive into the song now. A little bit of that cowbell work there with the guitar. Ooh. So kicked it off right away with the verse 1. Oh. So they pretty much took the R&B route with this fully. Very chill and relaxed with it in terms of the vibes. Using like different guitars in this. One that's more constant, the other. This is another new side to Rocket Punch that I've even heard before, if I recall correctly. I love the subtleness to it. Ooh. Diane, right? Huh. Very bright sounding with it. But most importantly, very sweet. Very sweet. Yeah, that's fitting to end it like that. Love More. Right away, I gotta say, not really in terms of my taste, like my biased taste of what I like in terms of music, but there's still quite a bit to appreciate in this song. And what I mean by not that up there in terms of my taste is just the easy going, you know, nothing very crazy changing that's going on, but like long, like lengthy verses and the pre-chorus and choruses and stuff like that, which I haven't heard a lot, honestly, in terms of B-sides and releases. And you often do hear these kind of songs more so in OSTs. And I feel like this is like would be very fitting for as an OST. I have to say, for like a K-drama or a web drama, of course, and especially due to the lyrics in this song. But yeah, not my cup of tea. But the things I appreciate about in this is how calming it is, so soothing, easy to listen to, right? Like, as much as I want some changes, maybe that's the strong factor to it, you know? It's easy to listen to. There's nothing that's going to surprise you. It's not necessarily predictable by any means. But yeah, you know, it works. It's a full-on R&B track. And it's definitely a new thing coming from Rocket Punch. I think there's two things that I want to go into it right away here on the second listen before we get into the final B-side, of course, on this album. From the beginning, and then we'll go through it, skim through it. The claps. I love how it kicks up like this, kicks off like this, I should say, with this verse 1 with Dahyun. What I love about it, though, is that constant, you know, steady, that's keeping the steady pacing in this song is the guitar, more so on the left side, and then they bring another guitar on the right side. Yeah, even here, anyway, the main characters are you and me. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's so fitting. It's so fitting for a K-drama. Some questions are being proposed in this. I think Jury really shines in this, but I feel like it would be in, like, it's definitely not something like Rocket Punch would usually do, and in a way, I'm thankful for that. But in a way, I'm also thankful for hearing this at least once from them. So if anything, I would love to hear a group like a lot more, you know. I would love to hear a group OST, one that would go like this, or any route, honestly. But it goes to show you, you know, they can be that versatile to release an OST that would go somewhat like this in terms of lyrics, especially. So right here, yeah. Yeah, the one thing that I really love is like the vocal layering and the overall mix to this, but also how the vocals are done in this, you know. It's changed ever so slightly, and it's it's the vocals are not like overdone in this, you know what I'm trying to say? You know, nothing's being forced, you know. I'm sort of piggybacking back onto In My World where things are not being forced. But you know, this one being more calm and consoling with it and very sweet. I like that addition. Every day you set me free, every time you make me free. Love the guitar work near at the end though. This got me wondering how the final B-side's gonna go, considering like the genre that they went with, Love More here, and the route they took with it, right? The approach that they took with it. But let's just get into the final B-side and then I'll wrap things up. So this final B-side is called Louder, and now I'm seeing a lot of familiar names here, especially Taisha and Audie, who worked on, of course, Summer Punch, coming off of the Blue Punch album, but also working with the likes of Weekly and their debut song Tag Me, and then Reet was worked with 11th day, if I recall correctly, for Billy, coming off of their debut album, and I believe has worked with Rocket Punch in the past before as well. But considering that this song is called Louder, I'm expecting something loud here at the very least, so let's just go. Okay, this bass here, quite bouncy with it. Oh! Okay, some sort of woodwind or flute here. Oh! Whoa! Oh, I like where this is going so far. I'm just really curious how the chorus is gonna be in this one. Build up with a snare drum. Okay. This got me quite reminiscent of a certain kind of era, not gonna lie. Okay, so he... Yeah, that looping of that woodwind, that flute is so good. Very like sci-fi type of sounds. Fill that up. Oh, I actually mess with this, guys, you know, as I'm hearing this chorus more. It's loud to a certain extent, which I dig a lot. The snare drums. Okay. With this, like, post-chorus instrumental break. Snare drums, rolls. Wow, okay, the bridge. Ticking on the clock. Dum 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 dum. Loving the attitude though. Yeah. Can someone please tell me that Rocket Punch did like a TikTok or short bit where like they did like a runway walk with the chorus of this song, because it feels like this it girl kind of mentality and like I have it all type kind of mentality and vibe to it, but like I just love the attitude and confidence by all the members, especially Diane in this. Like, her verse too was cool, like the attitude and grit that she brought to this one. Louder, definitely a loud song, but not too loud. I said this on the channel, guys, I love loud to a certain extent where it's not too overwhelming, right, and not too jarring. And yeah, with that being said, it's so up in the air. I don't know if this is gonna last a lot longevity wise. Like, longevity wise, I could immediately give like a solid 8 out of 10 longevity wise. For the song though, I'm leaning more towards that 9. It's weird, it's strange, you know. A lot of times we're so used to like ballads, pop ballads, or slow songs ending an album, but if anything I've learned, especially from Golden Child, and just Woolham artists in general, the final songs on their albums could be very explosive to like have a end-all be-all finale, or just like simply wrap it up, you know. And I love how Louder just concludes this mini album like that, and really connects to Yellow Punch. And I want to say this right away. This is by no means a side to Rocket Punch that we haven't heard before, but it has a lot of influences and stylistically got me reminiscent of actually the early trends and days that is still being carried on forward ever so slightly these days, or trying to be viral with it by many groups and solo artists out there, which is the likes of what ITZY did with their debut. This has a lot of ITZY vibes to it, admittedly, I gotta say, but like sonically it just feels like Rocket Punch, you know what I'm saying? Like, flow wise it has the ITZY vibes, but then everything else, it just sounds like this is like very signature identity wise Rocket Punch. And if you guys have been closely listening to their discography, especially if you have heard Red Punch, you understand what I'm saying, right? But Louder, the chorus hits like crazy. I love the bass work in this a lot, to the snares and the snare drums that are not done always the same way. There's some rolls being done near the end, and I really dig that instrumental post-chorus chorus break before we get it hit into the bridge of this song of chorus. But yeah, it really has those that kind of trendy feel to it, yet it just feels so signature Rocket Punch. And in this one, right, I felt like I digged. Okay, let me find the part. Let's start from here. Also, I do like how it kicks off, right? That flute, that woodwind instrument there, right? I love it. I love how it just works somehow. Bum 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 bum. There's like these very warpy kind of sounds going on. Louder. The delivery of Louder is so satisfying. Bum 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 bum. So good, Sohee. There was one part though. Let's find it. I missed it earlier. It's right here. When Yukyung came through in this moment near the very start here. The brief breaks and then, do you know my name? Do you know my name? I just feel like the start of this song kicks it off really, really well. Oh, so good. Yoonkyung and Sooyeon there. Do you know my name? Do you know my name? A lot of warping, a lot of distortion going on, like these sci-fi sounds going on, which I really dig. Like these moments, like really feel so Rocket Punch. And then dun 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 dun. You want to get a little bit of interjections there, but yeah, this post-chorus instrumental break. The rolling of the snare drum going on. Bridge. Wow, where are we now, you know? That is so cool how they bring back to all the members with the oh na 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 oh no na 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 oh. Ticking the clock. Bump 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 bump. They really packed a punch in this one. Louder. And this is where you clearly hear a lot of those sci-fi sounds in the back if you hone in with headphones or earbuds. The roll end of the snare drum. What can I say, guys? Like this, like, oh wow, like I gotta go back to this moment. Let me see if I can find here. Yeah, that post-chorus, post-chorus like instrumental break into the bridge, one of my major highlights and favorite moments in the song. But to wrap it up, guys, Rocket Punch's fourth mini album, Yellow Punch. By no means my favorite mini album upon first listen or other listens, I'd have to say, but with more listens, it may be up there as my second favorite mini album by Rocket Punch. It comes really close there with Pink Punch, but all in all, still Red Punch nonetheless. You guys were right talking about, oh, this is not my favorite one, but there's still a lot to love in this, and you guys are truly right about that. So, we kicked off with Yellow Punch, BXN, Primetime. You already know it's gonna be good. I would love to hear more by BXN and Primetime in general, and specifically with Rocket Punch in their future title tracks for sure, hands down, or at least B-sides, because they know what they're doing. The Yellow Punch intro, I love how there's a bit of 8-bit that I forgot to mention now that I think about it. 8-bit instrumentally done in it. And then when we went into In My World, hands down my favorite B-side on this album, taking a bit of those new disco influences, quite heavily new disco with it, very high energy with it, yet the subtle vocal delivery in the song by all the members makes things so satisfying. The verses, stand out a bit, but not too much to complement the other sections in the song. And the transitions were so cleanly done in this. The song hooks, catchy, memorable. What's there not to love for In My World? Definitely gonna have to check out the performance, at least on my own time, if not with you guys, on my own time and such. Red Balloon, unlike anything I've ever heard before, would like to hear Rocket Punch experiment a little bit more of that side in the future, actually, because I was just shocked in how that song took its twists and turns with the dum dum dum. It wasn't too overly repetitive, surprisingly, and I feel like everything sticks so well in that song to make it such a memorable song. Has a great groove to it as well. And then Love More, not my cup of tea, but I think it's a quite the interesting addition to the mini album. You know, like I said, it feels more of like an OST. It would work for an OST, but all in all, Rocket Punch really worked that song. Nonetheless, it goes to show you what genres they're messing with. They're pretty flexible. So that was more of a full R&B song compared to Red Balloon that had like a good amount of R&B influences on Red Balloon. Then we wrapped up with Get Louder. A lot of familiar names on that one. Like I said, got me reminiscent of the era where like trends kicking up with the likes of ITZY and many other spectacular artists who started to come through with very upfront, in-your-face type releases. But at the same time, I love how the song is so Rocket Punch, you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's uncharted territory coming from Rocket Punch with Louder. The chorus hits like crazy, but most importantly, that post-chorus into the bridge, it works so well. Such a shining moment in it. But I truly hope Rocket Punch gains more traction. At least there needs to be more content that brings more people on, like Variety or something, guys, to notify people about Rocket Punch, because you know I feel like they deserve more, especially when they kicked it up with the Ring Ring era and all. I hope, you know, sure, there's the consistency quality wise, but you know, if you have a good product, and like I say in business school and stuff like that, having a good product is one thing, but if you don't have the marketing behind it, you can't bring people to your product, which I'm speaking about specifically the music from Rocket Punch. And then if they open that product, it's like, oh wow, what's more to Rocket Punch? The members behind it. The members behind the songs themselves. I think people would love to end up diving into their Variety content as well. So I hope that changes over time, how Rocket Punch is being marketed towards the general K-pop fandom. And then also, of course, the album physical packaging. The resealable thing doesn't cut it for me, right? I feel like if you for some collectors like me, if you like a song a lot but you're not necessarily a fan, or like not a crazy heavily fan, and you like it and the packaging is good, it's like, might as well, I'll grab that album. But the resealable factor to it and the pull tab and all, I don't mess with it that much heavily, especially when you're putting on a shelf and all. Those are my 2 cents when it comes to, you know, what's going on with Rocket Punch. I just hope that doesn't take a long time for their next comeback, and I do hope it is another mini album or something like that, or like, if it is a single album, follow it up quickly with another single album. You know, saying, don't make us wait. But there's a lot of things to consider, especially what's going on, in the works, as some of us may already know, budget wise, and with good reasons, and some reasons that don't necessarily make sense. But to break down my favorites right away, it would have to be excluding the intro, of course. In my world, Louder, Red Balloon, and then last but not least, Love More, taste wise and musically, that have analyzed how everything was done. absolutely love the mixing and mastering in Red Balloon. One of the best that I've heard of this year. What we hear on the left side, what we hear on the right side. But as always, guys, be sure to like, share, maybe subscribe, as it helps out the channel so much. Just warms my heart connecting with y'all about Rocket Punch and their 4th mini album, Yellow Punch B-sides. Let me know your favorites. Maybe let me know how you're feeling about Rocket Punch as well. I feel like I needed to let something out, just my 2 cents, of course, here today. But as always, have a great day, have a good night, have a good afternoon, wherever you are. This has been Garrison, as always, and peace.